And my guests for this panel are Valentina Dragomir, Sales and Business Development Manager at IDnow, Bogdan Popa, Vice President Operations and Technology at Raiffeisen Bank, and Adrian Dinculescu, Head and Sales and Presales, CEE, Managing Director at Namirial, Romania. Please. Okay, so we are talking, Kosti mentioned something about cloud-based banking, so we are talking about cloud-based banking now. And I'm asking you, Bogdan, how is cloud-based banking is going and what's happening at Raiffeisen?
Okay, it works now. So good morning from my side. Happy to be here with you. A few words about our cloud journey at Raiffeisen. We started last year in 2022 by defining together with the group a vision. And our vision is that by 2025, so in 4 years, we want to have 80% of our infrastructure in the cloud. And from this vision, we then starting deploying a competence team. We have now a competence team in Raiffeisen Romania, which specializes in cloud. The cloud solution is a public cloud. We are deploying almost everything to Amazon Web Services. We do it piece by piece through different domains. Today we have 71 applications already in cloud, so this represents around 30+% of our total perimeter. So the perimeter, a little bit about the cloudable perimeter. When we look to our IT landscape, we have selected what we call the cloudable perimeter, and we have left out some components. And mainly these components which are not in this perimeter are the ones which are all on the legacy systems, and we don't want to put them in the cloud. The ones which we are going to decommission in the coming future, or the ones which for regulatory or compliance reasons we don't want to do in cloud. So yeah, we are now like in the middle of this transition with around 30% plus of the perimeter in the cloud. And we are looking forward to the journey for the next 2 years.
Okay, going further to Valentina, because we have these technologies in the cloud, so what's happening with the identity in the cloud and respecting all the things regulated, like fraud detection and things like that?
Yeah, actually, thank you very much for inviting me. So the identity verification solution are cloud-based as REST API, so can be very, very fast implemented, and all of the transactions are shifting to the online. There are a lot of fraud coming in the market. So looking at some reports, it seems that at the European level, 22% of the population has faced identity theft, which means that it's coming there, and there is a challenge for the banks, there is a challenge for the fintech companies, how we can have a good solutions based on cloud-based, but it's able to identify fraud, and it's able to detect any kind of this kind of theft attempt. So that's like the challenge for the cloud solutions. For us, it's not so complicated because we have like 40% of our employees are working in the research and development. We have more than 10 experience in this field, so we have a lot of experience how we can manage this on clouds in order to protect our clients.
Okay, thank you. Adrian, you have a lot of solutions after we are transferring to the cloud. So tell me more about this, your solutions in the cloud, like, I don't know, electronic signing, temporal things, and archiving.
Okay, now morning everybody. So Yeah, we as a company put all of our solutions in the cloud from the beginning. So cloud first is a strategy that Namirial selected since a long time, but with an option to also have solutions on premise, especially since we are addressing mainly the financial services sector. Many of the banks in the past years had a requirement for on-premise solutions. Now, all of the solutions are ready for the cloud, and there is now a tendency from the banking sector, not only banking, but also insurance and other sectors as well, to use more and more solutions from the cloud. So it's interesting, it's an interesting shift. I don't know if the pandemic triggered this shift or there are other reasons, costs or other reasons, but more and more financial institutions are having a cloud-first approach. So ranging from solutions from onboarding, like Valentina mentioned earlier, going to e-signature, trust services, which of course under eIDAS can be offered completely remote, electronic archiving, certified communication, and many, many other such solutions, all are accessible from the cloud. And even the legislation permits to use it from the cloud. I mean, if we look at ADR's rules for the remote video identification of people, they reference cloud. If we look at the current legislation for electronic archiving and the future one, the changes, it allows data centers to be in the cloud. So there is also the legal background to have solutions in the cloud.
Okay, great. So let's, and my second two questions are for all of you. So what are the benefits of going into the cloud? And what are the downsides? And how does the client feels all the process by having a cloud-based banking and solutions and KYC? And Bogdan, please start.
Thanks. So when we were looking to cloud or not to cloud, we analyze it from different perspectives because there are several reasons why you can go to cloud, to move your data center from on-prem to cloud, to manage better costs, to address some legacy issues, or to improve your speed and the time to market. So we said that for us, the leading point will be the speed and time to market and modernizing our infrastructure and technology landscape. So we see cloud not just like another data center, which is somewhere else, but we see cloud as a catalyst of our digital and agile transformation. And also we see cloud as a new way to manage IT. And I think this is the most important thing because cloud means decentralizing. Cloud means giving autonomy to the squads. We have around 40 squads now in the bank which deploy software on a continuous basis, independent squads. So we give those squads autonomy, independence, self-service when they want to provision any virtual machine, everything. It's a different level of security. We have analyzed the security which is on cloud, and these big providers like Amazon have a level of security which for us as individual banks would be very expensive to replicate. We really did a calculation at the group level, and it was a really millions of euro to be able to replicate the level of security which is there. So not to talk about resilience, because there is a distribution of the data centers. There are multiple availability zones worldwide, or in the regions that you select, like, for example, EU because of the GDPR and so on. And also we had like very anecdotal cases where, for example, when in our business continuity management, we have to test the capacity if you have a downtime in an app to raise it up in your backup center. And if this is usually taking hours in an on-prem landscape, you can do it in minutes or even seconds in cloud. So the advantages are incredible. Now, for clients, we have components which are already in cloud because we have them from partners, like, for example, Namirial or some other partners, but we have even components which we develop in-house, like lending. Lending already, digital lending is developed native in cloud and so on. So clients will feel it through speed and also through more real-time activities, more real-time stuff.
I was about to ask
about
this real time, because everything is like in real time happening.
we want more, all of us want more real-time, faster things, and okay, self-service, faster loans, faster onboarding, faster KYC, but also it's about fraud prevention, yeah, because when you have real-time data, you can make a faster correlation and put some transactions on hold, and then call the clients, and we do this, and all of the banks are doing this. Yeah, some offers which can be customized, and also some complaints management which can be even faster answered.
And to all of that, what are the downsides? Because I can imagine there are some downsides. It can all be that good. And
I think it's a change of model, as I have said before. So you don't have a capex intensive when you go to cloud. You pay per use, and you have to manage the use, because pay per use means that if you don't pay attention, you pay a lot, and maybe you pay a lot when you should not pay. Yeah. And you also have to pay attention to the access-based role that you give inside the organization. Yeah, this is important. You have to manage it properly. So, yeah, I would say there are things which I would not call them downsides, but there are other things that you have to care more than you used to when you were on-prem.
Understand. Thank you. Valentina?
Yeah, so speaking about the identity verification on cloud, it is true that our solutions are like REST API and can be implemented in a very, very fast way. We speak about weeks or months, so it's very, very fast to implement a new provider. Also, one of the biggest advantages that the banks, the customers, benefit of the latest updates of the product. So if you add a new feature, so they can benefit it very, very easily. They don't have to develop anything on their side. Also, speaking on our solution, we have this fast module, which means that we are able to detect the document in a very fast way, which means in 2 seconds, and also are able to detect if that device was already involved in a fraud attack. So we have 300 signals. So we are very, very able to detect any kind of fraudsters within some seconds. So this is the biggest advantage. On the other side, when we are talking about the disadvantages, there are a little, but the biggest one it is the security, because cloud-based solution can be affected in a very easy way. So it's very important when you choose the KYC provider to choose one that has all the certification from the security point of view in order to protect you and your clients to this kind of fraud attack. So this is one of the challenges, and actually this is why it's the recommendation for that companies that want to choose the cloud-based solutions.
Is it frictionless for the user having this kind of experience in the cloud, and how does it comply with all the regulations?
Yes, it is. Depends on the product that it uses, but it is like the friction, it is like less and less in this moment, because we are looking at the clients, so we are looking at the end users, are our clients' clients, to say like this, and more end user, more and more banks want this onboarding process to be as smooth as possible. If that's possible, only to take the ID, only to take the liveness, and that's all. But on the other hand, that it is a legislation in place. There are a lot of this kind of levels of requirements. You have to have a very strong solution to detect fraud, a very strong solution to detect any kind of security attack, and a very, very strong solution in order to detect any kind that will affect your client, because we have very strict SLA for the cloud-based solution. In this regard, what we have done at IDnow, and we've done for the Romanian market, with 2 years of work, we've developed a very, very smooth onboarding process for the end user with only an ID, a document liveness, and a face detection. But behind the scene, we have a very, very complex product with a very, very secure layers in terms of the security, and to help our banks to have a very good product in place. Speaking about numbers, actually we have a quality process in place, and in this moment, for the last month, we are able to detect all the fraud in terms of 100%, and we are able to provide this report to our clients, and also have a very good conversion rate of 93%. So we developed this product on cloud that helps a lot the banking system.
Okay, thank you. Adrian?
When we have to look at, first, just a short explanation of cloud. When we talk about cloud, we talk about shared SaaS infrastructure, we talk about private SaaS infrastructure, we talk about a managed SaaS. So basically, you offer a cloud infrastructure to several customers, or you dedicate a cloud infrastructure to a single customer, or the customer has its own cloud and then you install the solutions in its own cloud. And then you could think of the fun that our customers, the banks, are having when sending us the security questionnaires, because now it's all on us. We have to prove that the cloud solutions are secure. We have to provide to provide details on how we protect the data and so on. So it's quite funny to fill out all those questionnaires. Now, when you talk about cloud, there are many, many benefits. First of all, you have a much simpler process to scale up. You have bigger volumes, you immediately scale up in the cloud, as opposed to on-premise, to a local data center where you have to add machines, and it's more difficult to do it. Second thing, imagine of situations where you have to have a failover. So you have to have 2 data centers with physical locations in 2 different parts of the country. It adds a lot of complexity. In the cloud, you can do the same, but it's much simpler to do it. I'll give you a specific example, or 2 examples actually, with products from our portfolio. The signing platform. The signing platform is in the cloud, but it's in 2 different regions. If one region is affected, the other one takes over. Or with the trust services. In the cloud, it's much simpler to have 2 different TSPs under the same name. If one TSP falls, the other one takes over, with no risk to end customers. So there are lots of benefits for the customers. It's a bit complex for the vendors, but in the end, it's all worth it.
And what are the downsides from your perspective?
Bogdan mentioned an important aspect, consumption. I mean, if you have your own data center, you invest in the hardware. Of course, the hardware needs to be maintained, and you have costs with the data center as well. If you go in the cloud, it's all simple. You just consume. But then, as you consume more, you spend more. So you have to be careful with the consumption. Also, you have to give up some control, because if you get a cloud service from someone else, not everything is under your control. Maybe you have the operations team of your vendor that has to take care of adding more resources in order to face the increasing volumes, transactions. So you have to be prepared to give up such controls, and you have to be prepared to talk to the authorities to let you do this. For example, with the National Bank, right? You outsource KYC processes, you outsource storing of documents in electronic archives. You outsource signing processes, and documents end up in a cloud somewhere in, hopefully, the European Union, so that you're protected by GDPR.
Okay, I understand. Thank you. Bogdan, you've done at Raiffeisen solution that you've called Banking One-to-One that is based on this thing. I mean, mixing all the products in the same place and presenting it to the customer.
Yeah, let me explain a little bit about this Banking One-on-One, which is new for us as a branding and as a strategy, I would say. So let me go to a branch. Yeah? What's Banking One-on-One in a branch? We have our colleagues in the branch which are facing a client. And we have now a tailored conversation to our clients. So it's not about private banking, it's not about premium banking, it's about all the clients, mass, I would say. Yeah? We talk with our clients, and we try with the clients to go a little bit further with the time horizon of the banking, because usually we are looking in the banking as of today, we do some transactions, we take a loan and we spend the money and so on. But we try to enlarge the time horizon, meaning that we want our clients to have a very good planning of our financial life. Yeah? And this means looking a little bit to the saving products, looking into the pensions, insurance, and this kind of products to plan also for the future. What really happens in a branch, we have as a tool now deployed more than 1,000 iPads in our branches. We have less than 300 branches now. And on these iPads, we have put a kind of a solution which is guiding our colleagues in the branches into these conversations with the clients about their needs. They make simulation about their financial future, and it helps a lot. They share this with the clients, so it's not just a screen that our colleagues are seeing. It's a joint conversation based on a defined solution on those iPads. And this changed a lot the capacity of our colleagues to have a consistent discussion and to show really to the clients what happens if you save 50 lei per month, or if you invest 100 lei per month in a product, what you will have in 5 years, in 10 years, and so on. And I think this is a part of our responsibility to help the clients to think to their future, because the future has a lot of unknowns. And this is also a part of our strategy in the bank, because we have strategy like with two big pillars. One is we want our clients to have an easy day with us, meaning easy transactions, easy daily operations with our digital solutions, mobile, as was said before. Just as a comment, our clients, so the private individuals clients, are like 99% in the mobile, so the web is almost gone. The second pillar of the strategy, apart from this easy day, is this financial planning of our life. So to have a very good planning of our financial life.
Good. Moving forward, we talked yesterday a lot about the new technologies, about AI, about things like that. So how does AI impact all of you? We've seen yesterday that AI impact banking in all the different ways, in both good and bad. How about in the trust services area? How does AI impact you?
Trust services per se, there's not that big of an impact. I mean, you have to issue a qualified certificate or a qualified e-seal, you cannot really use AI when issuing. Where there is an impact is on the identification side, right? So you have machine learning, you have AI in order to automate as much as possible the identification with the purpose of issuing a qualified certificate. So this is one aspect. The other aspect is, or another solution where AI becomes important is, for example, in signing processes, signing flows. We're now implementing a feature, it's actually already implemented, we have to launch it, where AI does a summary of your contract. Imagine you get a 70 pages contract, you have to sign it, or maybe you get an envelope with 5 different contracts, and the AI can give you a summary of what you're signing, can present you the summary in different languages, and then you can proceed with signing the document. Yeah, this is pretty much the impact. Not so much on trust services, though.
Okay. Valentina, I know that you have issues with AI and with the identification part.
Actually, we are pioneering of artificial intelligence because we are starting doing checking the identity using artificial intelligence. We have developed a lot of products using it, and it is a real benefit for us, and it's like a very, very fast way to doing the identification using AI. Actually, so it's a huge, it's what somehow our core business, artificial intelligence, to say like this. But what we are seeing in this moment in this field of identity verification, it is more and more legislation are asking the manual review, the manual in quite of developed countries. So AI is quite a part of what we are doing because people are not perfect, but neither robots are not perfect. So doesn't depend how much we train the artificial intelligence algorithm, doesn't match how much data we have to train it. There is like a lapse that has to be covered, and that can be covered with the manual review. So actually we are starting with the artificial intelligence. We develop a lot of solutions. And this moment we add the manual review, add the manual touch in order to have the perfect solution. So the impact, to answer to your question, so the impact of AI, it was huge for us. It was the core business, but in this moment it's like complementary for the products.
Bogdan?
Yeah, let me share some things that we have done already in AI. So as we are using the Microsoft Office suite, like the Teams and the Outlook, we have gone for the OpenAI access. We have given to all our employees access to the OpenAI suite. So like everyone can now use the Da Vinci large language models, which is the ChatGPT 3.5. In fact, it is called Da Vinci model. So this is part of what we call democratization of AI, and we want to encourage our colleagues to go there and to use as much as possible in like daily tasks this thing. Then we are part of a pilot, regional pilot within the group, and we have already the co-pilot for Office. We have 30 licenses in Romania, 500 in the group, and we have this, I think we are one of the few companies who has this. So I have like an icon embedded already in the Teams or in the Outlook where I can ask for a summary of my emails and so on. And so this is also part of this large access to AI. Second part of AI is trying to create efficiency by removing some human work, and we have some use cases which are now in different phases of development. And the third one is looking strictly into the IT productivity. I mean, how we can use AI, mainly through also Copilot for GitHub in code creation and testing mainly. So, and here again we are in a kind of discovery and understanding what kind of coding jobs can be done through AI.
Thank you. Adrian, what about the trends that are coming with the new ADAS 2.0? And what about introducing the identity electronic card in Romania? It's a discussion, an ongoing discussion that is never ending, as we see.
There are two different subjects. On one side, we have local legislation with the introduction of the electronic identity card, which is piloted right now in Cluj, and then is supposed to expand. Great thing. I mean, data will be accessible via NFC. The change of the ID, we will not have the large one, ID1, we'll have ID2 now, so it's all good changes. Now, there should be a new law for e-signature quite soon. This is in the process of being adopted, so this is a short-term initiative as well. There are changes coming up to the electronic archiving legislation. So many things happening locally, which will have an impact on all the implementations in the near and mid-term future. ADAS 2.0, this is a bit more complex because there's so many actors involved in this subject, and there are some advances. Even recently, there were some agreements at the European Commission level. We expect to have some technical final decision by the end of the year, but I'm not sure. Personally, not a company view, but personally I don't think the wallet, the UD wallet, will be rolled out and with a substantial critical mass of users in the next 3 years, maybe 3, 4, maybe even longer than that. So it's going to bring big changes, ADAS 2.0, especially with regards to identity, but the adoption will be quite slow because every country needs to build their own wallets, to adapt them to the technical requirements and so on. Changes that come with ADAS 2.0 and which will have a faster impact are related to other products. For example, electronic archiving will become a trust service. So then you will see, again, an open market. Instead of having local legislation and buying legal solutions only from Romania, you can buy them then from any country, any vendor from any country in the European Union. This has a short-term impact.
But will the identity card will change all the things? Because we don't see it coming in life.
There's some hiccups, but it's coming. I mean, there are many people in Cluj that are using it already.
Yes,
it's bringing a lot of benefits.
Yes.
You know, there are some issues right now in several countries in the European Union because of the current ID, because the current ID does not have enough security elements on it. So several countries are not accepting it by itself as a proof of identity. So the new electronic identity card will put Romania back on the map of standard, regular IDs with a lot of security features, with a lot of data that can be read automatically, which will improve onboarding processes, which will bring a benefit to the issuance or the provision of trust services. So it will have a huge impact. It just needs to become reality.
Yeah, that's
Plus,
the main thing.
Plus, there are several elements related to electronic ID which will also have an impact on all digitalization processes. Imagine that the ID will have several sections in the chip where you can put certificates. The Ministry of Internal Affairs will put automatically, or this is the plan as of right now, a certificate for advanced signatures. Then trust service providers can write certificates for qualified signatures. So imagine now you have an ID with which you can get identified much faster, much simpler, but with which you can also sign documents. So lots of benefits.
So it will help a lot, but we'll have to wait and see until it becomes reality for the whole country.
It will help a lot.
Okay.
And the only issue is the rollout and the adoption. Now imagine a bank that has to support both IDs in parallel, because it will be a while that this will happen.
And talking about adoption, and we have a discussion in the society now about cash and not using technology and digital things. So, and the question is for all of you, what are the risks and the challenges you are facing right now in this ever-changing society after pandemic, with wars in different parts of the world and with a lot of different crises? Bogdan?
Okay, so let me start on this one. So I would say that my most important thing that I care now about, and much more than in the past, is the resilience. Because with almost everyone now going into a bank through the mobile, the events when you are down from different reasons with the mobile, it's far-reaching and much more damaging than it used to be 5-10 years ago, when you had more or less the services in the branches. So this is a dimension that we have not seen till recently. So this resilience is not. It's like when you switch on the electricity, turn on the lights, you expect the lights to turn on. Yeah, so no matter what and at any time. So for this, you need to have sometimes things like significant backup, significant investments, and redundancies, which are not cheap. So some of the services that we are providing, they have to be very, very resilient and with significant redundancies built around them, which today it's a process of having this.
Okay, Valentina, how do you see that?
We at IDnow, we are very open-minded people, and we are taking challenges as opportunities. So we are not afraid of challenges. We are opening to see it, and we are there to develop the product that it's able to address any challenge that it is. We have a lot of experts that are working all the different sectors. So if there is a challenge in the legislation, we have a very good team that it's working together with the regulators in order to issue the good legislation on the market, even if it's Romania, even if it's European. If you are talking about the product or the customer experience, we are taking the challenge and trying to build a product that can address this challenge. So we are open to any challenge that exists in this moment.
Risks have always been present. No matter if you had paper-based processes, there was a risk that somebody could fake a handwritten wet signature. If you move to the digital world, there is a risk that somebody will fake an electronic signature or somehow use, I don't know, deep fake or other new technologies to try to trick a system, an onboarding system, into believing that you're someone else than you are. So risks have been present, they're just changing in nature, and companies have a duty to adapt to these changes and to the risks. So you have to take all precautionary measures in order to be prepared for whatever could happen. But I think the benefits far outweigh the risks right now. So it's much better to have a cashless society than to have cash all around. It's much better to be able to do transactions from your own devices, from any place, than to be forced to go to fixed locations according to a fixed schedule. So the benefits are much larger than the risks.
Not according to some. Okay, do you have questions for our speakers? I think you were very clear about that. And just to wrap it up, because we are facing the future and what's coming next in 2024, what's next for next year and the medium term?
On my side, yeah, actually it is very clear in this moment that in this field it is the digital identity. So this is what is the next topic. As Adrian has already mentioned, we see quite a slow adoption, so actually we should be innovative and come with the products that can complement the digital identity, and that's what we are doing in this moment. We are coming with a product that is one SDK that is able to put the customer on the first place. And also what we see as a trend, it is like the shared identities. It is already existing in other countries of the European Union, and we have this product in place. And one of the most important what happened in the future is that control of the data. We see more and more people, more and more end users that want to have the control of their data, and they want to share that data that they want to share, so they don't want to share all the data that exists. So these are the trends on the next 2 years.
So for us, as I said, resilience, it's a total different level of importance than before. And I would say the second for the coming future is AI. So AI is this thing that exploded in the last 12 months, since last November. And I see it like the major new things for 2024 for us.
Okay, from my side is the legislation, as trends, changes in legislation. So everybody wants to make changes nowadays, local authorities, central authorities like the European Commission. So we have to adapt to those changes as companies, as end users, and new products that are coming up.
Okay, sounds exciting.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming here. Thank you.
Thank you.